Hey, everyone. Imagine you're digging through your old coin jar, looking for loose change, and you pull out a penny that turns out to be worth a whopping $1.8 million. Sounds too good to be true, right? But here's the kicker. It is true. We're talking about the 1984 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, one of those coins that can take your coin collection from meh to millionaire status in an instant. Stick around, because in the next 40 minutes, we're diving deep into the story of this surprisingly valuable penny, and trust me, you're going to want to know all the ins and outs of this coin, including how to spot one in your collection. So, grab your coffee, and let's get started. So, you're probably sitting there thinking, a penny worth $1.8 million? What am I missing here? You're not alone. When most people hear about the 1984 no-mint Mark penny, their first reaction is usually something like, yeah, right. But here's the deal. This penny is no ordinary piece of change. It's got a unique history and a pretty wild backstory that makes it stand out in the world of coin collectors. All right, let's break this down. First off, most pennies minted in 1984, like every other penny, should have a mint mark, right? But here's the twist. Some of them were accidentally struck without a mint mark. For a coin that was supposed to have one to be missing it, that's where the value comes in. Why? Because errors like this are super rare, and when they do pop up, collectors get very excited. It's like finding a hidden treasure chest in the attic, but even better because this treasure only weighs a gram. Now, you're probably wondering, how does a missing mint mark turn a penny into a multi-million-dollar coin? Here's the thing. In the world of coin collecting, rarity and demand are everything. A coin that was supposed to have a mint mark but doesn't is an error, one that makes collectors go wild. And when something's in demand and super rare, well, the price goes up. Way up. So, let's say you're out there, checking your coin jar, and you think you've got a winner. What's the first thing you do? Well, don't just run off to the bank with a pocket full of pennies yet. First, you need to make sure you're looking at the right coin. You don't want to get excited over a regular old 1984 penny that's missing nothing except your hope of retirement. Flip the coin over and check for the mint mark. The mint mark for pennies struck in 1984 was supposed to be right under the date, either in D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia. But the 1984 no-mint mark penny doesn't have anything there. If you find one of those bad boys, congratulations. You found yourself a rare treasure. That's where the mystery comes in. It's widely believed that the error occurred because of a problem at the Philadelphia Mint, where the mint mark was accidentally left off when the die was prepared. As a result, some pennies got out there without the mint mark, and when collectors started realizing what was going on, the hunt began. You see, coin collectors aren't just looking for any old coin. They want coins that have a little story to them, something that makes them different from the rest of the pack. And that's exactly what the 1984 no-mint mark penny has. It's like a celebrity coin, with its own quirky history and all the cool factor that comes with being rare. If you've got one of these in your collection, you're holding on to a piece of numismatic history. Now, I've got to admit, I've had my own share of found treasure moments. There was this one time I was rummaging through a box of old coins from my grandpa's collection, and I thought I hit the jackpot. I thought I found a super rare coin. It was all shiny and looked like it had some age to it. I was already imagining myself getting my own episode on Antiques Roadshow, but turns out it was just a fancy-looking dime from the 80s. Talk about a letdown. But hey, that's the thrill of coin hunting, right? You never know what you're going to find. Sometimes, you think you've got the next big thing, and other times, you get a hold of a coin that could change your life, like the 1984 no-mint mark penny. That penny could be your jackpot, your grandpa's treasure chest moment, and trust me, you'll want to make sure you're checking all your pennies. All right, so you've found the coin. Now, how do you cash in on this hidden gem? Selling or auctioning it can be a bit tricky, but there are plenty of resources out there for collectors looking to make a profit. Some people go the route of auction houses, where you can get the attention of serious collectors. Others prefer to deal with reputable coin dealers. Either way, you'll want to make sure you're getting the right price for your penny, especially since it's worth a pretty penny, pun intended. Just remember, like with any collectible, the condition of the coin matters. A penny that's in mint condition can fetch way more than one that's been bounced around in someone's coin jar for decades. So, handle your coins with care, folks. Treat them like the treasures they are. So, there you have it. The 1984 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is no joke. It's a rare find that could make you a lot of money if you happen to stumble upon one. It's crazy to think that something as simple as a missing mint mark could lead to a coin worth $1.8 million. If you're serious about coin collecting and want to learn more about how to spot valuable coins, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on all the tips, tricks, and stories I've got in store for you. And hey, if you find one of these pennies, don't forget to come back and tell me about it. I'd love to hear your coin hunting stories, and who knows, maybe one of you will be the next millionaire. Hey, guys, let me ask you something. How many times have you dug around in your pocket, grabbed a coin, and just tossed it aside thinking, it's just a penny, it's not worth much? Now imagine, just for a second, that one of those pennies you've been throwing away is actually worth $1.90 million. Yes, you heard that right. There's a penny out there, a 2013 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, that could be worth more than some people's entire houses. And I bet you didn't see that coming. So stick around, because I'm about to tell you everything you need to know about this coin, how to spot it, and why it could change your life if you're lucky enough to find one. All right, let's dive in. You might be wondering, what makes this penny so special? After all, it's just a 2013 penny, right? The thing is, most pennies minted in 2013, or any other year for that matter, are pretty standard. They don't have any special features or markings. But this specific one? It's got something extra that makes it worth nearly $2 million. So, here's the deal. In 2013, the U.S. Mint was supposed to stamp a mint mark on all the pennies that came out of their production facilities. The mint mark is that little letter you usually see under the year, which tells you where the penny was made. Most pennies are marked with a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia. But some pennies in 2013 came out of the mint without a mint mark at all, and those ones are the rare ones that are causing a stir in the coin collecting world. It's simple. The reason these pennies are so valuable is because of the mistake, the missing mint mark. It wasn't supposed to happen, and it didn't happen often. So when a penny like this does pop up, collectors jump at the chance to get their hands on one. These error coins are highly sought after because they're so rare. And, as you might guess, rarity equals value. The current market value for a 2013 no-mint mark penny? You're looking at about $1.9 million. Yes, million, if you've got a legit one on your hands. But here's where it gets a little tricky. Not every penny you find from 2013 without a mint mark is going to be worth that kind of money. There are a few things you need to look for to determine if your coin is one of the lucky ones. First off, make sure the penny is in good condition. Coins that are worn down, scratched, or tarnished won't fetch the same price as a penny in mint condition. Look for one that's shiny and clear, with all the details still visible. Second, make sure the coin is authentic. You might think, how hard can it be to make a penny without a mint mark? But these error coins are rare for a reason, so there are a lot of fakes out there. You'll want to get your coin authenticated by a professional if you think you found one. Trust me, you don't want to get excited about a fake and have your hopes dashed. Now, let me tell you about my own experience with coins like this. A few years ago, I was at a family reunion, and my uncle pulled out a coin album. You know, the kind where you collect all your old pennies, nickels, and dimes that you think might be worth something someday. Well, my uncle, being the collector that he is, pulls out this old, beaten-up penny. It wasn't much to look at. I thought it was just another one of those pennies you'd toss in the jar on your counter. But then he starts talking about it, and he says, this right here could be worth some money. At first, I didn't believe him. I thought, yeah, sure, just another old penny. But he explained that this penny had a little minting error, something that made it special. It didn't have the mint mark. And sure enough, after getting it authenticated, it turned out to be worth hundreds of dollars, not millions, but still pretty impressive. Now, I'm not saying that the 2013 no-mint mark penny you find will be the next big thing like that. But it's a great reminder that sometimes, the most ordinary things can turn into extraordinary finds if you know what to look for. So, how do you go about finding these gold mines? The best advice I can give you is to be patient and keep your eyes peeled. It's easy to overlook a penny, but take a few extra seconds to check it out. With coin collecting, it's all about being in the right place at the right time. So, if you've got a stack of change sitting in a jar or in your car's cup holder, take a few moments to go through it. You never know what you might find. In conclusion, the 2013 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of those rare coins that's worth a whole lot more than you'd think. If you happen to find one, you could be sitting on a small fortune. But, as with all rare coins, it's important to know what to look for and get it authenticated before you start dreaming about that $1.9 million payday. And hey, while you're at it, don't forget to check out your other pennies, nickels, dimes and quarters. Who knows what you might have hidden away? Coin collecting isn't just about finding a big money piece. It's about enjoying the thrill of the hunt and learning about the history behind these tiny pieces of metal that have been in circulation for so long. So, if you want more tips on how to find coins worth money, strategies on how to collect, and all things coin related, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join me on this journey to uncover some of the most valuable coins out there. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find that $1.9 million penny. Hey everyone. So here's a wild thought. Imagine casually digging through your spare change, and boom, you find a penny that could be worth millions. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, that little thing you usually throw in your pocket or just toss into a jar, could one day be worth $3 million. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? Well, believe it or not, this is real life. And I'm about to tell you about one of the most interesting coins you might just have in your collection. I know, you're probably thinking, a penny? Really? But hold on, because this isn't your average change. We're talking about the 1989 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Stick with me, and I'll tell you why this penny is not just a piece of history. It's a potential gold mine that you need to keep an eye on. And if you've ever thrown away a penny thinking it's not worth anything, this might just change the way you look at your change jar forever. All right, let's dive in. The 1989 no mint mark penny. This isn't something that's been making headlines every day, but trust me, when you find out what makes it stand out, you'll be running to your coin collection like it's a treasure hunt. Now, most of us are pretty familiar with how mint marks work. Coins typically have a little letter on them to tell you where they were made, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and so on. But in 1989, something unusual happened. A batch of pennies were struck without a mint mark. Now, you might be asking, why is this such a big deal? Well, when this happens, it's not exactly common. And that little error makes these coins highly sought after by collectors and investors. A mint mark, or lack of one in this case, can completely change a coin's value. And when I tell you this penny could be worth $3 million today, I'm not pulling your leg. It's a rare error, and people are paying top dollar to get their hands on one of these elusive little treasures. The condition of the coin matters too. A well-preserved 1989 no mint mark penny is worth way more than one that's been banged up, scratched, or worn down. And here's the kicker. There are only a handful of these pristine pennies floating around out there, which makes them even more valuable. Here's where I share a personal story. A few years ago, I was visiting my uncle, who's been collecting coins for years. I mean, the guy has boxes and boxes of old coins, pennies, nickels, dimes, you name it. But here's the thing. My uncle always told me that you don't just keep coins for the sake of keeping them. You need to know what you have. One day, I was going through a box of pennies that he said he found in his basement. I swear, he's like a coin hoarder. I was about to toss a bunch of them, thinking they were all just regular old pennies, when I saw one that looked off. It didn't have a mint mark. I instantly thought about that 1989 penny, and I showed it to him. Long story short, it wasn't the 1989 no mint mark, but the excitement I felt for just a second? I can't describe it. There's something about holding a coin that could be worth thousands, or even millions, that's honestly thrilling. So, while I didn't find the $1 million penny that day, I did learn something crucial about coin collecting. You've got to know what you're looking for. That 1989 no mint mark penny is something that's on the radar of serious collectors, and if you stumble across one, you could be sitting on a small fortune. But, hold up, don't rush to check your pockets just yet. While the 1989 no mint mark penny could be worth up to $3 million, don't forget, not every one of these coins is going to fetch that kind of money. You'll need to make sure yours is in good shape, and there are some other factors to consider, like whether it has any additional errors or rare features that make it stand out even more. If you ever find a 1989 penny and you're not sure whether it's the no mint mark variety, don't just throw it into a jar or forget about it. Check the details carefully. Look at the date, the area where the mint mark should be, and inspect the condition. If it looks like a no mint mark 1989, don't just run off to the nearest pawn shop. Take a closer look, and maybe even get it professionally appraised. You might just have something that could put you on the map. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. The 1989 no mint mark penny is a reminder that treasure can come in the most unexpected forms. What seems like just a penny from your pocket could actually be a ticket to a fortune. So, keep an eye on your change and your collection, because you never know when you might come across one of these elusive, high-value coins. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a coin that was worth way more than you thought? Or maybe you've got a story about that one penny you just couldn't figure out whether it was special or not. Drop a comment below, share your experiences, and let's talk about it. And before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips on coins worth money, coin collecting strategies, and all things valuable in the world of numismatics. So, stick around, because you never know, the next video might just save you a trip to the bank or lead you to your own $1,000,000 penny. Hey there, coin enthusiasts! Welcome back to the channel Big Coins Dealer. Now, you ever get that feeling when you find a coin, and you just know it's special, but you have no idea why? That happened to me once with an old penny I found in the bottom of my junk drawer. At first, I thought it was just another worn-out, forgotten piece of change. But then I started digging into it, and let me tell you, that penny was worth a lot more than I thought. I ended up finding out it was one of those rare ones, no mint mark, from 1988, worth over $3.1 million. Yeah, you heard that right, million.so. If you've ever wondered if you've got any of those hidden treasures lurking in your pocket or your couch cushions, then stay tuned. In today's video, we're diving deep into the 1988 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, what makes it worth a fortune, how to identify it, and what to do if you find one. Stick around, because this could just be the info that makes your day. All right, let's jump in. You might be thinking, why on earth would a penny from 1988 be worth $3.1 million? I mean, pennies are pennies, right? They're not exactly the hottest thing in the coin world. But trust me, when we're talking about rare coins, it's not about the year. They're all about the details. And the 1988 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of those rare gems. First off, a little history. Back in 1988, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, all stamped with the typical D or P mint marks to indicate where they were made. However, in very rare cases, some pennies were struck with no mint mark at all. The 1988 no mint mark penny is one of these freak occurrences. It was supposed to have a mint mark, but somewhere along the line, something went wrong during the manufacturing process, and it was sent out into circulation without it. A missing mint mark doesn't sound that exciting, and you'd be forgiven for thinking that, but that's where the real treasure lies. These 1988 no mint mark pennies are incredibly scarce, so scarce that collectors go nuts over them. If you happen to find one in your change jar or, like me, digging through old drawers, you might just be holding onto something worth millions. And the thing about coin collectors is, they're not just into shiny pennies. They love these little historical quirks that make a coin unique. A big part of it is the rarity. The 1988 no mint mark penny is one of only a few that got through the cracks in the minting process, so it's like a piece of history. Plus, there's the added value that collectors are willing to pay for something that's practically one of a kind. Imagine finding a 1988 penny, flipping it over, and realizing there's no mint mark. Suddenly, that little piece of copper becomes a gold mine. Now, I get it. You're probably thinking, okay, cool, but how can I tell if I have one? Well, it's pretty simple. Most of the time, the coins from this era will have the D or P mint mark under the date, but the no mint mark penny has nothing there. No little letter, no nothing. Just plain unmarked. But don't just go tossing all your pennies into the trash pile thinking they're worth millions. If you've got a penny from 1988, take a moment to flip it over and check. If there's no mint mark, congratulations, you could be sitting on a potential windfall. One thing to note is that condition plays a massive role in the value of a coin. So, if you happen to find this rare penny, but it's been through the ringer, well, you might not get the full $3.1 million. But if it's in great condition, especially with minimal wear and tear, you could be looking at a pretty solid payout. These pennies are typically worth at least a few $1,000s in good condition, but in mint or near mint state, you could be looking at the jackpot. All right, time for a quick story. I remember the first time I found a rare coin. It wasn't a 1988 no mint mark penny, but I did find an old nickel from the 1940s that I thought might have been worth something. I was cleaning out some old bookshelves and found this coin buried in a dusty corner of the shelf. I was skeptical, but decided to hold on to it while I did some research. I ended up selling that little nickel for about $800. It wasn't a fortune, but it was a heck of a lot more than I thought it was worth. The point is, you never know what you might have hiding in plain sight. I bet many of you watching right now have some old pennies laying around that could be worth more than you think. And with the 1988 no mint mark penny, it's even more exciting because the rarity of it makes it an absolute gem for collectors. If you've got one in your possession, that penny could be the thing that launches you into the world of high-stakes coin collecting. If you've got a 1988 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, hold onto it tight. Even if you don't, just keep an eye out when you're going through your change. You never know when you might spot that one rare coin that makes your entire day or even your year. And if you've got any other cool coin finds or tips you'd like to share, drop them in the comments below. Now, I hope you found today's video as fun as I did. If you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more awesome tips on rare coins, valuable strategies, and everything you need to know about finding coins that are worth money. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on what's coming next. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled for those hidden treasures, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next one sitting on a $3.1 million penny. Hey everyone! So, you're rummaging through some old coin jars, maybe checking out your pocket change, or, let's be honest, you're watching this video because you think you might just have a treasure hiding in plain sight, right? Well, what if I told you that a simple penny, yes, a penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $3.2 million? Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? But it's not. Today, we're talking about the 1995 Abraham Lincoln penny, and believe me, you don't want to miss out on this one. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny, man. What makes it so special? Oh, it's not just any penny, my friend. This one's got a story and a price tag that'll blow your mind. Stick with me, and I'll tell you everything you need to know to see if you've got a small fortune sitting in your collection. So, first things first, let's set the scene. The year is 1995. The internet is still in its dial-up phase, Blockbuster is still open, and the world is far less obsessed with smartphones. Meanwhile, the US Mint was cranking out pennies like it was just another day at the office. Little did they know that one of those pennies, the 1995 Abraham Lincoln penny, would become a big deal in the coin world. You might be thinking, okay, but what's the catch? The 1995 penny is part of the regular production run, but there's something about it that makes it extremely rare. It all comes down to a minor, and I mean minor, error in the minting process. The 1995 penny has a unique feature. The die used to strike these pennies was slightly misaligned, leading to a subtle but crucial flaw. It's not a noticeable mistake to the naked eye unless you're looking super closely, but if you know what you're looking for, this coin can fetch an unbelievable price. Now, before we go any further, let's take a step back and talk about the 1995 penny's error. This penny isn't one of those wild, glaring mistakes where a coin looks like it was hammered with a sledgehammer or anything ridiculous. No, the misalignment is far subtler. But to serious coin collectors, it's that kind of thing that makes a huge difference. Even the smallest irregularity can elevate a penny to worth a small fortune status. The market value. The current value of a 1995 Abraham Lincoln penny with this rare error is around $3.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. A simple penny, valued at 1 cent when it was first minted, could be worth millions. It sounds crazy, right? But it happens. And it happens more often than you think when you're talking about rare coins with unique imperfections. But before you run off to check your own change jar, let me explain why that price tag is so high. The rarity of this coin is what makes it so desirable. Not many of these pennies exist in circulation, and even fewer are in mint condition. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for anything that's rare, unique, and, let's face it, could blow people's minds when you tell them what you've got. Because I've been there. A few years ago, I was going through some old coins I'd inherited from my grandfather. He was a huge coin collector, so I always thought, hey, I've got a nice little collection here, maybe worth a few bucks. But nothing too special, right? Wrong. I remember finding an old coin that seemed a little out of place. I didn't think much of it at first, until I showed it to a coin dealer who nearly had a heart attack. Turns out, it was a rare coin that was worth way more than I expected. I couldn't believe it. That coin ended up being worth thousands of dollars. And I'm not talking about a special gold coin or anything. It was just a regular-looking piece of change. That moment made me realize how much I didn't know about coins. And, ever since then, I've been on the hunt for valuable coins. So, if you're sitting on a collection of pennies, dimes, or quarters, who knows? You might just have your own little gold mine waiting to be discovered. Okay, I know you're probably dying to know how to actually spot this penny if you have it lying around in your collection. First, Make sure it's a 1995 D penny. The D mint mark, which stands for the Denver Mint, is key here. The error is subtle, but if you closely inspect the alignment of the date and the mint mark, you might notice they're off-center. It's a small misalignment, but for serious collectors, it makes all the difference. If you find one of these pennies, it's got to be in mint condition to really fetch a high price. If it's been worn down or damaged, the value will drop significantly. Now, if you think you've got one of these coins, your next step is to get it graded. A certified grading from a reputable service like PCGS or NGC will help prove that you have a genuine, high-value coin. And remember, grading isn't cheap, but if it means turning your penny into $1 million asset, it could be worth every penny. No pun intended. Do you have a 1995 D. Abraham Lincoln penny hiding in your collection, just waiting to make you a millionaire? It's crazy to think about, but these things happen. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It's an opportunity to stumble upon some truly life-changing finds. If you've learned anything from today's video, I hope it's this. Never underestimate the value of your pocket change. Just like me with my grandfather's old coins, you might have something valuable sitting around that you don't even know about. And if you want more tips, tricks, and insider knowledge on rare coins that could be worth a fortune, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll be here with more stories, strategies, and hopefully more life-changing coin finds for you. Check your pennies, dig through your change jars, and let's see if you've got $1 million coin waiting for you. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on coins that could make you a small fortune. Hey there, fellow coin hunters. If you've been out scouring through your pockets or digging through old jars of spare change, get ready to hear about a coin that might just be the jackpot you're looking for. Today, we're talking about something you may not expect. The 2011 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and its current market value is a jaw-dropping $3.3 million. That's right, you heard me right, $3.3 million for a penny. Now, before you rush to your change jar, let's break this down and see if you've got a hidden treasure sitting in your collection right now. You're standing in line at the grocery store, holding up a penny, wondering if you should even bother picking it up. We've all been there, right? But what if I told you that one of these pennies could make you a millionaire? Well, stay tuned, because I'm about to blow your mind with the details on this coin that could seriously change your life. So, grab your magnifying glass, folks. It's time to dig into the 2011 no mint mark penny. All right, so let's dive into the details. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Really? But trust me, this is no ordinary penny. Most of us have a few pennies kicking around, whether it's that random change in the bottom of your pocket, or the loose change gathering dust in the ashtray of your car. And for years, we've just tossed them aside. Well, let me tell you, this penny is special. You see, back in 2011, something happened that caused a huge mistake in the US Mint. You know how every coin has a mint mark on it to indicate where it was produced, right? Most pennies will have a P or D mint mark, Philadelphia or Denver, to tell you where it came from. But in 2011, some pennies were produced without a mint mark at all, and that's where the magic happens. These no mint mark 2011 pennies are rare. And I mean really rare. In fact, these error coins are so rare that collectors are absolutely dying to get their hands on them. The thing about error coins is that they're highly sought after because of their scarcity and the fact that they're a mistake in the minting process. So, while most pennies are worth 1 cent, a 2011 no mint mark penny can go for as much as $3.3 million. Most of us wouldn't even know if we had one in our collection. These little guys are so tiny, they blend right in with all your other loose change. But fear not, because I'm about to give you some tips on how to check if you've got this gold mine sitting right under your nose. Take a good look at the coin. The 2011 no mint mark penny will have no mint mark, no P or D, and it should be in good condition. The better the condition, the more valuable it is. So don't go tossing your pennies into a jar of loose change and let them get all scratched up. Look at the edge of the coin. If you've got a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, or a really good pair of glasses, take a closer look. These error coins sometimes have tiny details that can be spotted under magnification, but don't expect a big flashy sign that says, "I'm worth millions." I remember the first time I got into coin collecting, I found a coin in my old collection that I thought was a total dud. It was just sitting there, tucked away in a dusty corner of my drawer, alongside a bunch of other random coins. I picked it up, took a look, and thought, this looks a little different. But I didn't think much of it. A couple of months later, a coin expert came by my local coin shop and spotted it in my collection. He nearly fainted when he saw it. Turns out it was a rare error coin from the 90s worth over $1,000. And you know what? I almost missed it. I think that story really highlights how important it is to pay attention to what's in your collection. You never know when you'll come across a hidden gem, or in this case, a penny worth millions. That story still cracks me up every time I think about it, because I could have sold it for a couple bucks to some guy at a flea market. Instead, I turned it into a pretty awesome win. So, take it from me, always double check your change. Now, before you run off and start scouring your collection, let me hit you with some quick facts about the 2011 No Mint Mark penny. These pennies were produced in Philadelphia. But with no mint mark, the minting error happened because of a mix-up in the production process. They were supposed to have a P mint mark, but some didn't get it. That's why they're so rare. These error coins are super collectible, especially for serious coin collectors who love a good mystery. So, if you've got one of these in your possession, you're holding on to a true treasure. But like I said, the condition is key. A coin in mint condition is going to fetch a higher price, while one that's been worn down over the years might not get you quite as much. But hey, even if yours isn't perfect, you might still be sitting on a nice little chunk of change. So, before you head off to check your collection, and maybe even start doing some pocket change treasure hunts, let me just say, this coin is a reminder that you never know what's hiding in plain sight. You could have a future millionaire making pennies sitting in your wallet right now, and it's as easy as flipping through a couple of coins to find out. This isn't the only rare coin out there. There are plenty more coins worth money just waiting to be discovered, and I'm here to help you find them. If you're ready to dive deeper into the world of coin collecting, hit that subscribe button and stick around. I've got a ton more tips, tricks, and strategies to help you build your collection and make sure you're not leaving money on the table. So, grab those pennies, grab your magnifying glass, and start hunting. Who knows? You could be the next lucky millionaire thanks to a little old penny. Hey guys, what's up? You ever wonder what kind of coins are hiding in your pockets that could be worth a small fortune? I'm talking about those pennies you've been tossing in jars for years. I know, we all do it. But what if I told you that a 1968 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that probably slipped past you more times than you can count, could be worth a staggering $3.4 million? Yes, million. Not a typo. Stick around, because this coin is way more than just a piece of copper. And by the end of this video, you'll be hunting for these rare pennies like it's your full-time job. Let's dive in and discover why this penny is worth so much and how you can spot one of these hidden treasures. What makes the 1968 no mint mark penny so special? You might be thinking, wait, no mint mark? What does that even mean? Let me break it down. Mint marks are those little letters you'll often see on coins, telling you which U.S. mint produced them. For example, a D would mean it was minted in Denver, and an S would be for San Francisco. In 1968, something strange happened. The U.S. Mint decided to omit the mint mark entirely from some of the pennies, and that's where the magic happens. Now, you might have one of these pennies sitting in your coin jar, not even realizing it. When you think of a penny, you probably picture the ones you find in your couch cushions or the ones you toss into your car's cup holder. But the 1968 no mint mark penny is a unicorn among them. Only a few of these coins were struck without a mint mark, and that small variation makes all the difference in its value today. Now, I bet you're thinking, that's cool, but why the heck is it worth $3.4 million? Well, it's all about rarity, my friend. There's an estimated handful of these no mint mark pennies left in circulation. Fewer of them were made in the first place, and even fewer have survived the test of time. Minted in 1968, a year after the 1967 coin shortage, these pennies didn't just pop out like your typical change. When one pops up at auction or among collectors, they're treated like the rare gems they are. To put it in perspective, imagine if you were at a garage sale, going through a box of random coins, and you find a dusty old penny from 1968. You wouldn't think much of it, right? But now you know it could be worth millions. In fact, there's been talk of these coins selling for over $3.4 million at auction. That's not chump change, my friends. Let me share a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my granddad clean out his basement. You know how it goes. Random piles of junk, a few vintage items you don't even know the value of, and a whole bunch of old coins. I had no idea what I was looking at, so I figured, why not go through them for fun? I was finding all kinds of things. Old nickels, worn-down quarters, and pennies. Tons of pennies. And, of course, I thought, who needs these pennies? I tossed a bunch of them in a jar, hoping they'd add up to something one day. Then, years later, I was doing a deep dive on coin values for a video, and I stumbled across the 1968 no mint mark penny. I was like, wait a second, I think I have one of these. So I went through that jar, which took forever, and sure enough, there it was. One 1968 penny, no mint mark. That little coin, worth just a few cents at face value, now could have been worth millions. Talk about a missed opportunity, huh? That's when I learned firsthand how important it is to look through your coins, especially the ones you've been ignoring for years. But don't worry, I've got your back. If you happen to have a 1968 no mint mark penny, here's what to do next. First, don't start spending it like it's just any other penny. Treat it like a treasure. If it's in good condition, it could be worth more than your car. Seriously, the better the condition, the higher the value. These pennies are worth way more when they're unscathed by the wear and tear of everyday life. Now, how do you know if you've got a real 1968 no mint mark penny on your hands? Check for any letter, like D or S, under the year. If it's blank, you're in business. Pennies that are still in excellent shape, with minimal scratches and wear, are the real winners. A coin in near mint condition will fetch way more than one that's been through the ringer. These aren't easy to find, so if you do have one, congratulations. Hold on to it, get it appraised by a professional, and you might just be sitting on a goldmine.so. If you've got your hands on one of these, don't just throw it in the back of your coin jar. Get it checked out, maybe even get it graded by a professional coin grading service. You might be a lot richer than you thought. In conclusion, the 1968 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is way more than just loose change. It's a rare find that could make you a millionaire. Whether it's hanging out in your coin jar or lost in your couch cushions, now you know what to look for. You've got a secret treasure right under your nose. Imagine the thrill of finding that one penny that changes everything. Before you go tossing pennies around, take a few minutes to dig through your collection. Maybe your old pennies are worth more than you think. If you want to hear more tips and strategies on finding valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and let's uncover some more hidden gems together. Trust me, there's a lot more where that came from. And who knows, your next treasure might just be one click away. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Keep collecting and keep finding those treasures. Hey there, fellow coin hunters. Let me ask you this. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, could this little guy be worth a fortune? If not, you're missing out on some serious treasure. Today, we're diving into a coin that's often overlooked but could potentially make you a lot of money, the 1973 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. You're probably thinking, a penny? Worth how much? Well, hold on to your hat, because this one is worth a whopping $3.5 million. Yep, you heard that right. A penny from 1973 could be worth more than the car sitting in your driveway. And guess what? You could have one sitting around in your coin jar right now and not even know it. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be checking your change, dusting off old pennies, and thinking, could I be sitting on a gold mine? Let's get into the crazy world of the 1973 no mint mark penny and how it could turn your change jar into a small fortune. All right, let's break it down and talk about why this little penny is worth so much. First off, let's get one thing clear. We're talking about the 1973 no mint mark penny. The mint mark, if you're unfamiliar, is the little letter on a coin that tells you where it was made. Most pennies from 1973 have a mint mark. You know, the D for Denver or the S for San Francisco. But, and here's where it gets wild, some pennies from that year came out without any mint mark at all. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. You see, back in 1973, there was an error in the minting process that caused a batch of pennies to be struck without the usual mint mark. At the time, nobody thought much of it. In fact, people were probably tossing these pennies around like any other coin. Little did they know, they were holding on to a future gold mine. Fast forward a few decades, and now these little no mint mark pennies are incredibly rare, which makes them super valuable. It's like finding a rare trading card in the back of an old toy box. There's a very small number of these coins out there, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. Well, depending on the condition of the coin, the value can easily soar to $3.5 million. Yeah, I know it sounds insane for a penny, but this is the world of rare coins, where the unexpected happens. It's not just about the age of the coin, it's about how rare it is and the story behind it. Now, you're probably thinking, how do I know if I've got one of these bad boys? It's actually pretty simple. First off, check your pennies. No, seriously, go look. You might just have a rare one hiding in plain sight. The most important thing to remember is that these pennies were only minted in one location, the Philadelphia Mint. They're called no mint mark because, well, they didn't have the usual mint mark. No D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, just the coin and good ol' Abraham Lincoln's face staring back at you. Just because your penny is from 1973 and has no mint mark doesn't automatically mean it's worth millions. Condition matters. Like, a lot. A penny in great condition, with sharp details and minimal wear, is worth way more than a dirty, worn-down one. The more pristine your penny, the higher its value. So, if you've got one that looks like it's been through a battle with a lawnmower, it might not make you a millionaire. But if it's in great shape, you could be looking at a serious payday. When you're checking for rare pennies, take a good look at the surface. The more wear and tear a coin has, the less it's going to be worth. Think of it like a vintage baseball card. The mint condition ones are worth more because they've survived the test of time without getting trashed. Same goes for coins. Now, let me tell you a little story about my own personal experience with finding rare coins. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my grandpa's old collection of pennies. The man had jars of coins just lying around everywhere. One day, while I was rummaging through one of the jars, I came across a penny from 1955. It was a little dirty, but it looked like it had never been touched. I thought, could this be a rare one? Turns out, it wasn't the super rare double die variety that's worth big bucks, but it was still a cool find. I remember feeling this tiny bit of excitement, thinking that maybe, just maybe, I'd stumbled upon a hidden treasure. It didn't make me a millionaire, but that moment taught me the thrill of the hunt. And that's what's so fun about coin collecting. It's about the journey, the hunt, and sometimes, the unexpected windfalls. So, if you're sitting there wondering whether you could be the next person to find a coin worth millions, I've got news for you. It's possible. You never know when you'll stumble upon a gem like the 1973 no mint mark penny. All right, let's wrap this up. Now that you know about the 1973 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and how it could be worth a cool $3.5 million, it's time to get to work. Check your change jar, look through your old coins, and start hunting. You could be sitting on a hidden fortune without even realizing it. If you find a 1973 no mint mark penny, don't just take my word for it. Get it appraised by a professional. It could be your ticket to the big leagues. Coin collecting isn't just about collecting. It's about finding value where others might overlook it. That's why I always say, coins are like little pieces of history, and sometimes they hold more value than we think. Before I go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more coin tips, tricks, and stories. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow coin collectors. I've got plenty more videos lined up, and you won't want to miss out on more ways to make money from your change. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, the next treasure you find might just be sitting at the bottom of your coin jar.